Peter Pan syndrome has been assessed by psychologists since they wrote in the book The Man Who Never Grew Up, at 29 years ago. Peter Pan syndrome has been assessed by psychologists since they wrote in the book 29 years ago, The Man Who Never Grew Up, or The Syndrome by the Man Who Never Wanted to Grow Up, written by Dr. Dan Kelly. The syndrome is characterized by certain immature behavior aspects, like the individual tends to have irresponsibility, rebelliousness, anger, narcissism, dependence, and denial of age. Peter Pan may be swift and irresistible, the boy who never wants to grow up, now is embarrassed by a legion of followers in 21st century. They are big ankles that have 30 or 40 something that still depend of their parents to live. They act and dress like teenagers. They spend considerable hours at the gym. They put off all the responsibilities, including marriage with a woman. They never stop a job and they lock with a key their real ages. Sounds familiar? Do you know someone who those characteristics? I do. So, the perpetual adolescents which have Peter Pan syndrome suffer to accept the real age. They have a distorted view about what is normal for their age and it is impossible to assuming a responsibility of it. The result is an adult responsible, selfish, narcissist, and irresponsible, a boy in a man's body. The problem with Peter Pan syndrome is not physical aging. In the case of this syndrome, is the difficulty of personnel with growing with psychological problems, many psychological problems. In fact, the next kid that guy revealed this insecurity and fear to deal with situations that require maturity. Peter Pan syndrome is prevalent in males, although there is no reason, no answer in the universe to answer this. She understood that for biological reasons, women naturally repent earlier. Therefore, they can develop earlier for abstract reasons and impulse control. In a later phrase of reasoning, the time allows the child to choose, so to speak, to postpone his step delay, so stop the development of the syndrome of Peter Pan. However, home education and the context who the child lives will influence with certainty. However, the education at home and the context who the child lives will certainly influence the development of the syndrome. An overprotected mother, for example, will not help her son. Obvious fact, behind a man boy is very likely to be a mother, besides him helping him to organize the room or giving ideas for a romantic relationship or helping him financially. If men are big babies, it's women who suffer from it. After all, are they who going to deal with a childish partner who doesn't care for their own behavior? But in general, a pretty face, a sweet smile, and a doll's charm is food to when they fall in love with Peter Pan and fly with him to Neverland. The trap becomes more dangerous when Wendy is actually a Cinderella. The complex of Cinderella is the female of syndrome of Peter Pan, but is more frequent at female. In this syndrome, woman grows up believing in the illusion of a Prince Charming, the perfect man. Imagine the confusion if she decides that the irresistible man is Peter Pan. By learning to deal with their emotions, Peter might be a good boy if he study, work, and finally build something with his own hands. For example, the carpe diem way of living can be a positive attribute of no negative. For example, it will perform with professional responsibility with not momentum. It is important, however, to discard the fantasy and get real. In practice, example of ideas, like win the lottery, marry a millionaire, or spend the whole life traveling at the world. As a rule, only those who work has succeed. In more advanced states, Peter Pan syndrome needs advanced help. According to psychologists, there is appropriate treatment. Following this line of therapy, there are three keys: empathy and conditional positive regard are matching tools. Do not confuse Peter Pan syndrome with fear of aging, more frequently in our society. But sooner or later, everybody will lose a stretch of skin. So the best thing to do is prepare to deal with aging, since it relates to physical, emotional, or soul. And don't forget to don't do like the big ankles and act like teenagers. Thinking about the syndrome, we can use as a perfect example the king of pop, Michael Jackson. He was accused by people to have relationship with children, but in my opinion he was innocent. However, he has not one of symptoms of syndrome of Peter Pan, because he was so responsible with his work. He lived in a place called Neverland. There he plays with the children with toys and other things. Probably Michael has this syndrome because he has a very complicated childhood. Because his father always put him to work hard for hours and fight with him and his brothers. Michael was a great person, sweetheart, and also with the fame he was humble and lovely. Everybody in the world needs to have a children's side, like happiness and hope inside us. It's very healthy, but always with a good limit. Thank you for the attention. I'm Theresa Gouveia talking about Peter Pan syndrome.